everyone, thanks for watching. Today I just wanted to talk a little bit about Bhujangasana or Cobra pose. Very popular pose in yoga. Usually it happens in your Surya Namaskar or your sun salutations, which means that it also usually happens pretty quickly. Most practices you will only get one breath in the pose. So lots of times it's helpful to spend some time yourself learning the pose, figuring the pose, how it feels in your body, so that when you're doing this quickly, you'll know quicker whether you are aligned properly, whether you feel good in the pose, and you'll have an easier chance of adjusting yourself. So to begin, we will lie down on our stomachs, making sure to press all 10 toes right into the mat, the tops of your feet down, your knees, your thighs, and the points of your hip, pushing those right into the mat. Now, if any of you have any low back problems, low back pain, maybe you're just really stiff today, a great place to start is Sphinx pose. So you're going to stay on your forearms, and depending on how sore or stiff your back is, you can move those elbows out as far as you want to get as little of a back bend as possible. And if you're staying here for a while, you can just walk those elbows back under your shoulders, coming into a bit more of a back bend. And then if you think you're ready for a little bit more, then that's when we start coming onto our palms in Cobra pose. So the most of the action here you want coming from the top of your back. You don't want your hands pushing you up, and you don't want all of that muscles in your lower back doing the work, because that's an easy way to hurt yourself. So a good place to start is even just taking your hands right off the mat, your head facing forward, and just using those back muscles to lift you off the mat a little so that you know where you're comfortable, and when you bring your hands into it, you're not just going right up and straining your back. So again, just on an inhale, just using that back, pulling that heart up, not necessarily back, because then you're pulling forward and it's putting more strain on your lower back muscle. So when you're ready to bring your hands into it, you want to make sure that your elbows are tucked in. We're not chicken winging here. So again, taking a nice deep exhale, and then very gently inhale, reaching that head back up, making sure that we are not hunching those shoulders, relaxing them down the back. And if you have any neck problems, you put your neck right down to the mat. If you want your gaze, that's not a problem. And then you can always come up a little bit more wherever you're comfortable, making sure we're not clenching those bum muscles. That will also help strain your lower back. A good place to start is just always keeping those elbows a little bent. When we straighten up, we tend to hunch forward, which isn't what we're looking for here. So a nice bend in those elbows, keeping them tucked into the ribs, and just breathing nice and deeply, making sure we're keeping that pelvis and those legs pushed into the mat. And when you're ready, on an exhale, very gently lowering back down to the mat. Breathing here if you'd like. Always coming into child's pose is a nice way to counteract that back bend. And like I was talking about before, most of the time in a studio practice, Cobra pose will happen in the middle of a Surya Namaskar. So it will look a lot like this when you're starting in downward dog. So like I said, it usually happens pretty quickly, so it's a great idea to spend some time in this pose figuring out how your body feels in it, how your adjustment feels, so that when you're moving through it quickly, you're not injuring yourself, straining your back, anything like that. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.